Once the winningest quarterback in college football history, Boise State phenom Kellen Moore got his first head coaching job in the NFL with the New Orleans Saints. So today, we're going to hop in. We're going to rebuild the New Orleans Saints the Kellen Moore way. Our first order of business is re-signing players. As we're starting in the offseason, of course, exactly where Kellen Moore is starting in real life. We are going to accept Chris Olave's fifth-year option. I do kind of want to keep Paulson Adebo around, but I'm not sure that I want to overpay him. So maybe we just try to go after him in the free agency. Chase Young, I do want to keep around. I'm going to try and offer him it may be a little much, but I want him to grow, and I have some plans with this defensive line. So we're going to keep him around. Rashid Shaheed can go. Alvin Kamara can go. Juwan Johnson can go. Trevor Penning can go. Peyton Turner can go. Willie Gay can go. I think everybody else can walk. We're going to try to just rebuild this team, and we have enough cap issues that we're already going to fight. So we're just going to go ahead and get to the free agency. Well, these are the players we are bringing in this free agency. Of course, Jeremy Chin, Paulson Adebo, we were able to get back on a decent deal, and Jamie Sherwood, a middle linebacker. I kind of want to build the defense. All these guys are on the right side of 30. So let's get to the draft, and not quite sure how we're going to play it yet, but we may just be all offense. Before we get to the draft, I do want to take a quick look, see what positions we really need to target. Like left guard, we really need. Right tackle, I'm not super worried about. Ryan Ramczyk will come back. Tight end we need. Receiver we need. We obviously need a quarterback, but I'm not going to focus that in this year's draft. Defensively, I think we look really good. We need some linebacker help. Free safety in the future, but we did bring in Jeremy Chin, Paulson Adebo, who's hurt right now. But our defense is, I would say, almost better than our offense. Even with losing Cam Jordan and Demario Davis this past offseason to retirement, I still think we have a lot to build on. So let's go ahead and get to the draft and start building this team up. Well, here we are at the 9th pick, and I think I'm going to keep it offensive here. Try to improve the offensive side of the ball with bringing in Emeka Egbuka, another Ohio State receiver, pair him back up with Chris Olave, and try to get this offense, give this offense the ability to stretch the field. He was ranked at 10. We got him at 9. Elite speed, hidden dev. And we're going to stick with the Ohio State alumni, bringing in Travion Henderson. I haven't used him in a rebuild yet, so I'm very excited to get him in. We just lost Alvin Kamara. We need a running game. Welcome to the team, Travion Henderson, ranked at 8, got him at 41, another hidden dev player who's going to be here for a long time. Well, Logan Parr's a little bit of a bust, but I definitely think he's better than our current left guard, so we're going to go ahead and bring him in the 3rd round. A normal dev, but he's going to play, so hopefully with his young age he can develop, and he's probably going to start this year, so we're just going to have to make do. Well, we have another 3rd round pick here, and we're going to go with Terrence Ferguson, a possession tight end. I mean, a hidden dev. He may have been a little bit of a bust there. What was he? Ranked at 187. We got him at 95. But a hidden dev. Hopefully he can develop, and he's got some decent attributes. Well, we're finally going to the defensive side of the ball, where we're going to get Jack Kaiser out of Notre Dame. A run stop left outside linebacker. It's a position we really need, so hopefully he can make a little bit of a difference, and he's not going to. He was terrible. So let's just forget about the rest of this draft. Before we get too far in this video, guys, leave a like If you're enjoying it so far, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 300 subscribers, 400, 500, 1,000. You know how it goes. We're trying to grow here. Let's get on with the video. Taking a look at the draft class here, Egbuka is a 77, Henderson's a 77. Logan Parr, hopefully he can get up in that 70s soon, a high 60s. But for a third-round guard, if only he would have had a hidden dev, he'd be a great player. Ferguson is we're going to try to get him on the field. He's got that hidden dev, so hopefully he can develop really well. Kaiser probably will see the field because we're not very strong at left outside linebacker. And the rest of the class, I'm not super worried about. So let's get into year one and get these guys plugged in, see how the roster's looking. Well, this is what the team's looking like before we get into year one, and I'm not upset with it. Henderson and Egbuka both already up to 79 overalls. Logan Parr up to a 69 so far. Ferguson, he's down here. I'm hoping maybe with some development we can get him up top here. Maybe we put him over Foster Moreau. I kind of want him to see the field. Actually, I'm just going to put him over Taysom Hill. Try to get him on the field. That little bit of a difference is not going to make... that little bit of an overall difference isn't going to make a difference on the field in year one. We still have a lot we need to do for this team, but we've got some key pieces put in on offense that I think are really going to help. Defensively, we still need to build some places, but I'm not upset with how it looks. I think Brian Bresee is going to be really good. Chase Young can continue to develop. Same with Carl Granderson. Kool-Aid McKinstry out here on the edge. Hopefully he develops really well. Still have Alontae Taylor, Paulson Adebo. Added Jeremy Chin and Jamie Sherwood, who hopefully can develop really well as a middle linebacker. And the rest of the positions we're going to have to start looking for replacements in the next draft. But we got to get through year one before we can get there. Well, and at the midseason, we have some people to re-sign. I don't know about Ryan Ramczyk. Paying a whole lot of money for an aging, regressing right tackle. We may have to wait on that. Trevor Penning can go as well. Alontae Taylor can probably go. Moreau can go. I don't think we're going to re-sign anybody. Not even, Everybody is on the chopping block. We will probably accept Brian Bresee's fifth-year option. And everybody else, though, can go. I'm not interested in signing these guys at all. And we are only 1-6, which is a bummer, but 6 touchdowns, 5 picks. This first year, I want a high draft pick. I want a quarterback, so I'm okay with it. Now, I would like to go ahead and see what our stats are looking like. Now, Derek Carr is looking pretty bad. 1,400 yards, almost 1,500 yards, actually. It's not very good. Trevon Henderson is not running a lot. For some reason, Derek Carr almost has just as many attempts. Why is Derek Carr running the ball more than our running back? I don't know. Receiving, Egbuka leading the way, 401, 2 touchdowns. Cedric Wilson with almost 350 and 2 touchdowns. Not a lot for Olave and the rookie Terrence Ferguson, 290 and 1 touchdown. Defensively, Pete Warner leading the way in tackles. Chase Young in TFLs, which I do like. And Carl Granderson in sacks. Not getting a lot of sacks there. Hopefully those numbers jump up. And Jordan Howden with 2 picks. Kool-Aid McKinstry with 2. 1 for Adebo, 1 for Matthew, 1 for Anfree Orji, and 1 for Jalen Ford. And taking a look at our dev traits, it looks like Trayvon Henderson and Egbuka and Ferguson all star devs. But that's good for development. I am okay with them being star devs. It is not hurting my feelings. Defensively, we didn't have any dev traits to show. Everybody's playing down, but we're playing losing ball. Well, we finished the year 5-12, so we end up winning some at the end, like we beat the Patriots 45-10. And I'm curious to how stuff turned around as Derek Carr, almost 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Rushing, Trayvon Henderson did end the year with more carries than Derek Carr, but I don't know why Derek Carr had 134 of them. 10 touchdowns, though, for the rookie, which is good. Derek Carr didn't have a single fumble on any of those carries. That's wild. Receiving, Emeka Egbuka, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. 8 touchdowns for Cedric Wilson. 6 for the rookie Terrence Ferguson. Only 4 for Chris Olave. But an incredible year out of the rookie Emeka Egbuka. I'm looking for a dev trait upgrade there. Defensively, Pete Werner led the team in tackles with 119. Chase Young in TFLs with 14. Tied Brian Bresee with 14, actually. And Carl Granderson leading the way in sacks with 5. I really wanted more out of Brian Bresee and Chase Young. Hopefully a little bit more development, or maybe an additional defensive lineman, or less time on the field. Maybe a better offense. They can turn that around and start getting more sacks. 4 picks for Jordan Howden. 4 for Paulson Adebo. 3 for Kool-Aid McKinstry. 2 for Jamie and Sherwood. 2 for Pete Werner. 2 for Anfree Orgy. 1 for Jeremy Chin. 1 for Tyrann Mathieu. And 1 for Jalen Ford. It's a lot of interception yards. I wonder if we had no defensive touchdowns. Bummer. And to take a look at the development, Trey Henderson's playing down 3, but so he should be up over, well over an 80 overall now. Egbuka up to an 84. Ferguson up to a 76. Logan Parr only up to a 71, but the rest of our offensive line is doing pretty good. Defensively, nobody's really developing. Everybody's kind of playing down, which is a bummer, but hopefully next year we can win some more games with a better offense and our defense starts to develop. So let's go ahead and get to the actual end of the NFL year. Take a look at our award winners and see if we got any dev traits. And we're not going to find ourselves on the MVP or Coach of the Year running, as we just didn't have a good first year as expected. But for Offensive Player of the Year, I was hoping that somebody could squeak in. Probably not. Not going to have anybody there for Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie goes to Quinn Ewers with Egbuka at 2. Ferguson and Henderson at 6 and 7. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we're not going to have anybody on that list. Best Quarterback, Derek Carr is not going to be there. Best Running Back, do not find our way onto that list. Best Wide Receiver, Egbuka at 10. Best Offensive Lineman, nobody there. Best Defensive Lineman, nobody there. Best Linebacker, not going to be on that list. Best Defensive Back, Jordan Howden at 8. And Paulson Adebo at 10. And Best Kicker, Brian Grupe at 5. And the San Francisco 49ers ended up winning the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy as the MVP. Like I said, we already took a look at the award winners, so let's jump to the free agency, sign some players, try to get this team performing. All right, so taking a look at who we brought in the free agency, we brought Ryan Ramczyk back. There wasn't a better right tackle, and I'm not going to draft one this year. Jalen Phillips, who's on the right side of 30, a left outside linebacker, an immediate upgrade to that defense. Andres Borregales, a kicker that is young and star dev and going to develop. A cornerback, because we lost Alontae Taylor, so he's a little bit of an upgrade and still young enough that he's got about 3 good years left. And then Jameis Winston, a mentor at the quarterback position, just going to be a backup. Well, I have done the best I can to try and find the best scrambler on the board. And this guy looks like the best. He's not the fastest one, but with taking into consideration the injury rating and stuff like that, it looks like it's going to be Colin Booth. Elite strength, elite throw power, elite change of direction, 4.73 speed. A lot of good accuracies, throw on the runs, throw under pressure. Really just that C awareness. So this is who we're going to take with the 4th pick in the NFL draft. Ranked at 59, got him at 4, but he's a hidden dev quarterback. The overalls I'm not concerned about. We got our guy for the future, and I went with the scrambler because of how many times Derek Carr ran the ball last year. I think this guy's going to be great. And here we want to add another piece to our defensive line. LaMarcus Starks is a round 1 talent. That's exactly who we're going to bring in here. Ranked at 7, got him at 36, a hidden dev. Welcome to the team. And another defensive player here in Dennis Lewis, a round one talent, all A's across the board, a right outside linebacker, and a scheme fit. Welcome to the team. Ranked at 17, got him at 68. Only normal dev, but he's probably going to play. All right, here we're going to take a corner that we're going to turn into a free safety. Greg Harris, he looks decent enough to do that with. So, ranked, I mean, it doesn't matter how he was ranked. He has he's got the athletic ability to play that free safety. So that's what we're going to do with him. And taking a look at the draft recap, I mean, we ended up with some really good players. Two high 70 overall players. The quarterback only a 73, but I'm not worried about that. I do want to change this guy to a free safety, so let me do that real quick. All right, so I got him changed over. It didn't really change his overall, but I think he's going to be good enough, especially with his zone ratings. I think we did really good, so I'm going to get all these guys plugged in, and we'll see you at the beginning of year 2. Well, here we are at the beginning of year 2. So I want to take a look at the roster before we hop in, and I didn't even realize that Ferguson got a superstar dev. So he got a dev upgrade off his rookie year. We got Booth, who after preseason is up to a 75 overall. He's not a scheme fit, which is weird, because with the amount that you run in this playbook, you kind of need a scrambler. Of course, Henderson and Egbuka are going to continue to be insane. We have Bub Means down here at the bottom, at the 3 spot. We're really going to look to bring in another receiver this offseason and probably upgrade left guard. I should have done it this past year, but I wanted to give Logan Parr another year to develop and kind of see where that led. Defensively, Starks here playing up to a 79 overall, about to be the number 1 DT on the team, so that's nice. Pete Werner got a dev trait. Jalen Phillips, of course, we brought in. Got a lot of good players. I'm hoping Greg Harris develops, as he is a scheme fit right there. So I'm kind of hoping he develops and continues to grow, and we don't have to try to replace him again, but we probably will. And that's kind of what the team's looking like. Everybody looks good. I'm not really going to move anything around. Just let the team play like that. Hopefully Starks does take over. Hopefully he becomes DT1 and or hopefully all of them just play really well and we don't have to worry about it. So let's go ahead and get to the midseason. Of course, I'm going to stop, do all the scouting stuff that I got to take care of. If there's anything important, I'll be sure to show y'all. If not, we will see y'all at the midseason. Well, we do have some players to renegotiate here. Luckily, we do have a little bit of money in. Like Chris Olave is going to be here for the long haul. So we're going to go ahead and offer him a 5-year deal. Get him pen to paper. He's staying. Everybody else, though, I'm not really super concerned with. They can all go. Nobody is a big enough impact to this offense, and we probably will accept Fuaga's 5th-year option. Now, we are 4-3, which means we have a winning record. We're number 2 in the division, but we're tied for the top. We might be able to make a little bit of a playoff run here. I am curious to how our dev traits and stats are looking. And Booth does only have star dev, but he is developing nicely up to a 77 overall, and it looks like the rest of the team is developing too. Not really taking a hit on morale right now. Everybody's kind of just 50-50, so hopefully people will develop. Defensively, Starks is only a star dev, but that doesn't really hurt my feelings. He's playing up to an 83. I don't know why he's not defensive tackle 1, so we're going to swap that around. Everybody else is looking good. Jamie Sherwood is hurt, though. So I'm going to try to do this. We're going to try to do that, get the rookie some time until Jamie Sherwood comes back. And I want Harris starting over Johnson. Other than that, though, the team looks like they look pretty good. I'm not worried. Zero concerns with this defense. Now, taking a look at the stats, Colin Booth doing better than Derek Carr. 1,400 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, only 3 picks, not turning the ball over. That's what we want to see. Rushing, Trayvon Henderson is leading the way in yards. I'd like him to get that average up, but 6 touchdowns. Colin Booth, 60 attempts. I mean, this is a lot. 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Terrence Ferguson leading the way with 349 and a touchdown. Bub Means 348, 5 touchdowns. Olave and Egbuka really kind of slowing down this year, but 2 touchdowns apiece. Not really any big concerns there. Defensively, Pete Werner leading the way in tackles. LaMarcus Starks in TFL, and oh my gosh, LaMarcus Starks looks to be leading the way in sacks with 9.5 as well. We almost double-digit sacks at the midseason. 2 picks for Marcus Jones, 1 for Werner, 1 for Sherwood, 1 for Adebo, and 1 for Kool-Aid McKinstry. Well, I'm very excited for how this team is playing. So, we're going to go ahead and get to the playoffs. If anything important happens when I stop to do the focus scouting, I will be sure to show it. Until then, we'll see y'all at playoff time. Well, I told y'all if we had anything big happening, I would be sure to show y'all. We just beat the leader of our division, the Carolina Panthers. We're currently sitting at 6-6, just outside the playoffs. But we did have a weekly award winner. We had one at the midseason. That was Pete Werner. This time it's Paulson Adebo, another defender, with an interception and a touchdown. So he got a pick 6. I'm curious to if we've had any other award winners. Pete Werner, that was when we stopped. Oh, that was when Starks, okay, he got 3 sacks that game. I don't think we had any others. No, that was it. And we also have a DB breakout. I'm assuming this is for Paulson Adebo. Let's get to it. Coach coming off strong game from Paulson Adebo. We're not going to set any expectations. 2 combined tackles tackles for loss, forced fumble, pass deflections, or sacks to upgrade his dev. TFLs, now deflections is the only place I could really see him get it, but we do have a game against Dallas, so no big concerns there. We're going to simulate it right here, see if he gets it. We lost 30-10. Dallas isn't even that good. I doubt he got it with our bad defensive mind. It wasn't the breakthrough game I was hoping for. Yep. Got 2,500 XP. No big complaints there, but the rest of the way, we're just going to sim out. I don't see us making the playoffs. If we do, we barely squeak in. Well, I expected not to make the playoffs, but I didn't expect to lose out the rest of the year, as it looks like we were just bottom of the league in everything. Offensive points, yards, all of it, which doesn't make sense because we do have some good playmakers. And Dallas was able to just squeak in. We kind of fell a lot as we were kind of the 7th seed there for a while. And NFC North just as strong as usual. I do think, though, we should take a look at our stats and see how the team played. And Colin Booth kind of fell off a little bit. He only had 3 picks at the midseason, ends the year with 16, but 3,400 yards, 24 touchdowns. I don't know why he fell off there. Rushing-wise, Trayvon Henderson, not doing great, not really going to develop, only getting 590 yards. Colin Booth, 495 and 4 touchdowns. I wonder if that's no. Kenneth Walker's getting 300. It's just splitting the carries between the two of them. Receiving, Egbuka bumped up 837 yards, 5 touchdowns. Ferguson was 774 and 2. Olave was 7 and 7 touchdowns. Bub Means 662 yards and 9 touchdowns. Defensively, Pete Werner leading the way in tackles. LaMarcus Starks in TFLs tied with Carl Granderson, and LaMarcus Starks in sacks with 13. Brian Brissy with 7. Chase Young with 3.5. Werner with 3. Granderson with 2.5. 5 picks for the free agent we just brought in, Marcus Jones. Kind of like those numbers. Paulson Adebo with 3. 1 for Werner, 1 for Sherwood, 1 for McKinstry, 1 for Chin, and 1 for Jordan Howden. So we know we didn't play the best. We did have some decent stat lines from some players, but let's go ahead and get to the offseason, see who won the Super Bowl, and take a look at our depth traits. And we're not going to have anybody in the MVP running or Coach of the Year, I don't believe. Yeah, we're not there. Just not good enough yet. Now, as far as any other award winners, I'm not sure. We don't sneak on to the Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Jones and Starks both on the list. Starks at 5, Jones at 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Booth at 2 to Mike Higgins. That's a bummer. Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to LaMarcus Starks, though, so hopefully he gets a dev trait there. Best quarterback, we're not going to be on that list. Too many interceptions. Best running back, not going to... Oh, Henderson at 10. Best wide receiver, and nobody on the list. Best offensive lineman, nobody on the list. Best defensive lineman, Starks at 3. Yeah, he only got it 3. Best linebacker, Pete Werner at 8. Best defensive back goes to Marcus Jones. What an ad. And best kicker, Borregales at 4. And the Philadelphia Eagles ended up beating the Buffalo Bills. Saquon Barkley winning Super Bowl MVP. I mean, you know what? That's a high-scoring Super Bowl. That would have been a good Super Bowl for this year. And I want to take a look and see if we got any dev traits. And as it looks on offense, nobody went up or down, so that is good. Defensively, Starks goes up to Superstar Dev. Jones goes up to Star Dev. Werner loses his Dev, and so does Sherwood. So that's not great, but everybody else stays the same. I'm happy with it. Now, I told y'all we are going to accept Fuaga's 5th-year option. I don't think we're going to re-sign anybody. Everybody else can go, and we're going to try to just add a couple more pieces in that free agency. Well, the only player we brought in was Travon Walker. I'm going to try to improve this pass rush a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of Granderson, and hopefully Travon Walker can go ahead and take over and be a dynamic pass rusher. All right, so we are trading Carl Granderson away for a 3rd-round pick to the Bears. They offered the most, but it was all nonsense. I want a draft pick. So we get a 3rd for Carl Granderson. Probably could have gotten more, but I'm not concerned with it. Let's just keep it simple at this. Let's get to the draft. And we have the 11th pick. So I'm surprised. I thought we were kind of good enough to be a little bit further back. We're sticking with safety. We're going to move this guy to free safety. Zach Moorhead, he's a top 5 talent. Bring him in. Safety is our biggest need on the team. Ranked at 4, got him at 11, and a hidden dev. That's perfect. Let's get to the 2nd round so we can add probably a receiver. We're not going receiver here. We're going to go with a left guard. Paul Booth looks like the best available, and he's a scheme fit. Welcome to the team. Ranked at 43, we got him at 43, and he's a hidden dev. All right, this might be a little bit of a stretch of a pick, but he looks like the best receiver, really. So we're going to go ahead and get him. And he's a slot guy, and we need a slot guy. Ranked at 71, got him at 72, only normal dev, but he's probably going to fit right into that team. I'm super excited about this draft class. We knocked it out of the park in the first 3 rounds, 370 plus overalls. You can't complain about that. These guys are going to be great. Good additions to the team. Well, from year 1 to year 2, we improved by 2 games. I'm hoping that if we can get another 2-game improvement this year, that will put us in the playoffs. I'd like for more, but we're just going to stick with the 2 games there. We are at an 85 overall, offensively and defensively. I am excited to see what this team looks like. And this is what the team looks like before we get into year 3. Booth up to an 80 overall. The offensive line looks really good. We brought in Paul Booth, who is already up to a 75 overall and hidden dev. Nobody lost dev traits last year. Trayvon Henderson continues to develop. Same with Egbuka and Chris Olave. We do have Bailey, who's at wide receiver 4. But I'm hoping I can sneak him in the slot spot, and he just takes over from there. Defensively, Landon LaMarcus, I think it's LaMarcus Starks, already up to an 87 overall. He's developing fantastically. We brought in Travon Walker this offseason, so hopefully he makes a little bit of a difference. The corner room is looking great. Moorhead, who is the rookie we just brought in, feel good. I mean, even the linebackers are not bad. All high. I mean, Warner's the high 70 overall. Sherwood, an 80. Hopefully he can get his dev trait back this year, and hopefully Phillips plays pretty good. And now that we've said goodbye to all that stuff, let's go ahead and get to the midseason. If anything important happens along the way, I'll be sure to stop and tell you. And as I stopped to do the kind of focus scouting for the regions. Colin Booth, winning player of the week, 268, 3 pass touchdowns, only 12 rushing yards. So pretty good week from him as we beat the Arizona Cardinals. We're only 1-1, but I think we should have beat Jacksonville. We were way better than them. Well, we got our scouting straight. Let's get to the midseason now. And we have 115 mil, but we also have some players to re-sign, like Kool-Aid McKinstry, who is going to get a contract. He has played good. He's developing good. Brian Brissy, maybe, if he accepts this. Yep, he continues to play. Chase Young, I don't know about. We might let him walk, look to replace him. Eric McCoy, we definitely will keep him around. Cesar Ruiz is going to stay around. And after that, I'm not sure anybody else is going to stay. We will accept Amik Ekbuka's 5th-year option. I'm not sure about Chase Young. He really needs to show this year. We've had him for, I think, 3 years now is what I re-signed him to. And he hasn't had more than 5 sacks a year. So probably not going to re-sign that. And we are 4-3, so we are above 500. We're at the 8th seed, number 2 in the division, same as last year. Hopefully we can kind of bump that up and really start playing well. And Colin Booth, very similar to last year. A little less yards passing, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Hopefully he doesn't do what he did last year and fall apart in the second half of the year. Trevon Henderson getting better, 372, 4 touchdowns. Guess we're doing less running by the quarterback as Colin Booth only has 140 yards and 1 touchdown. Egbuka, 396, 2 touchdowns. Olave with 307 and a touchdown. Ferguson with 292 and a touchdown. CJ Bailey, the rookie, 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. Defensively, Pete Werner leading the way in tackles. Trayvon Walker in TFLs. And Brian Brissy in sacks. A little bit of a fall off from LaMarcus Starks there. And Marcus Jones with 2 picks, Paulson Adebo with 1. Now, taking a look at the roster to see if we know any dev traits. Booth is a star dev, but a massive upgrade at that left guard position. And Moorhead is only a star dev, but everybody's playing good. I was really hoping for more from Starks there, but I guess, beggars can't be choosers. Now, let's go ahead and get to the end of the year. I will stop, do my scouting. If anything important happens, y'all will know about it. Well, I did the focus scouting, and we have a defensive lineman breakout. We're losing games as an 87 overall, which is very frustrating. So I'm excited to see who this is about. LaMarcus Starks is coming off a strong game. We're gonna do superstar, give him a medium goal. He's a superstar player. Get him 2 sacks for a dev upgrade. 2 sacks is rough, but he tends to do it from time to time. So let's go ahead and simulate it and see if he gets the dev trait. We did win, and we held Carolina only 2 touchdowns. I'm curious. I think he did. I think he got it. No, he only got XP. I guess the rest of our team did good. But not a big deal. We're currently sitting at 6-6, number 2 in the division as always. Let's go ahead and get to the end of the year. Hopefully we make the playoffs this year. Well, we did not improve again. We go 7-10. I don't know why. 87 overall team. We should be doing better than that. Like if you look at the teams that were better than us, they were not as good as us. Colin Booth, 4,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, 11 picks. So that's kind of high. Trayvon Henderson, as close to 1,000 yards as he's ever been, 894 and 10 touchdowns, 404 yards and 4 touchdowns for Colin Booth. Egbuka over 1,000 again, 5 touchdowns as a rookie with almost 800 yards, 12 touchdowns. Olave kind of having a weird year. And Terrence Ferguson, 752 and 4 touchdowns. Defensively, Jamin Sherwood leading the way in tackles with 137. Hopefully that gets his dev trait back. Trayvon Walker with 23 TFLs. 12 for LaMarcus Starks. And LaMarcus Starks leading the way in sacks with 7.5. 5.5 from Brissy, 2.5 from Walker, 2.5 from Sherwood. Chase Young with only 2.5. 4 picks for Marcus Jones, 2 for Paulson Adebo, 2 for Kool-Aid McKinstry, 1 for Sherwood, and 1 for Warner. Defensive touchdown? No. Well, even though we disappointed the entire league, we're going to go ahead and get to the offseason, try to change it up to get into year 4. And we're not going to be on the MVP list or Coach of the Year list as usual because we were not good enough. Offensive Player of the Year, nobody there. Defensive Player of the Year, nobody there. Offensive Rookie does go to the wide receiver C.J. Bailey. That is nice. Defensive Rookie, Moorhead at 8. Best quarterback, not on that list. Best running back, Henderson at 8. Best wide receiver, Bailey at 7. Best offensive lineman, not on the list. Best defensive lineman, not on the list. Best linebacker, Sherwood at 8. Best defensive back, Marcus Jones at 7. And best kicker, we're sitting at number 8. And the Cincinnati Bengals win the Super Bowl, taking down the Philadelphia Eagles. So nice little change there. I would like to check our depth traits, and it looks like Chris Olave finally lost his. For whatever reason, Bailey is not at the wide receiver 3 spot. He's still good enough. We did lose our right tackle. That one kind of hurts. Maybe we're going to have to draft one. Nobody else goes up or down on offense. Defensively, Sherwood gets his depth trait back. Jeremy Chin loses his. That's upsetting. And everybody else stays the same, no up or down after that. Now, we accepted Egbuka's 5th-year option. We have $100 million. I'm not bringing Pete Warner or Chase Young back. They're just too old. They're not developing anymore. They're not going to get us better. So we're going to try to use that $103 million to bring somebody in that's going to help. All right, these are the players we are targeting for the free agency. Jalen Carter, we're letting go of Chase Young. We need a pass rusher. Rosengarten to replace Ryan Ramczyk. Michael Dixon, a punter. And Budda Baker, because Jeremy Chin has started to regress a lot. I'd rather bring somebody in just on a short deal, a veteran that has been fantastic in the league. And we get Rosengarten, Dixon, and Baker. We did lose. How did we lose out on Jalen Carter? Dallas wasn't even near the top of that. Well, we're just going to have to leave it at that. I think all these guys will be good enough additions, and we're just going to might try to work some trades. We have the 13th pick in the draft, and there are no good pass rushers. The best one, who didn't even look all that great, went pick 1. I wasn't trading 3 years worth of picks to go up and get that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to trade for somebody that's actually in the league. All right, well, we are sending our first round pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Josh Hines Allen. He's older and a veteran, but a superstar dev right end that is going to change our defense and turn it around for the better. All right, here we're taking a left guard that I think I can move to tackle. He's big. He's a pass protector. Ranked at 89, got him at 45. Hidden dev, but I think I can move him. I think he's going to be a right tackle. All right, this guy is going to get moved to right outside linebacker. I don't know that he's going to be a hidden dev. Ranked at 52, got him at 77. Hidden dev, he's moving to right outside, and I think he's going to be pretty good. And I think this draft, we did really good, especially considering we traded away our first rounder to the Jaguars for Josh Hines Allen. But we get Ethan Cody, who we're about to move to right tackle. Only a 71 overall, but a hidden dev, so he will develop very fast. Dante Collins, who we need to move to a right outside linebacker. And he's a 73 overall hidden dev, going to see the field. Paul Pierce, the Celtics legend. And yeah, the rest of these guys are bench players. Not a big deal. I'm happy with this draft, especially since we brought in Josh Hines Allen. Well, I think we should win a lot of games this year. This team is looking fantastic. I wish Fuaga would have developed more. He was an 80 when we took over the team. He's only gone up 2 overall in the last 4 years. Not really great. The rest of the team is developing really well, though. I'm really excited. This 4th year, we should easily make the playoffs. And our defense is looking fantastic. Added in Josh Hines Allen, another superstar pass rusher, with LaMarcus Starks, who already is a run-stopping defensive tackle that gets tons of sacks. Brought in Budda Baker. I think we're really good. 87 overall. This team should win games with no problem. So let's get to the midseason and see if there are any problems. Hopefully there aren't. I'd like to see an undefeated midseason. That's what I want. I just don't understand why we can't win 3-3. It doesn't make sense. But we do have some renegotiations to do, and we're going to start with Terrence Ferguson, who is going to stay on this team. He signed on Trayvon Henderson, another piece, another player that's going to be signed on for the long haul. Fuaga, I definitely would like to keep. We're going to have to mess with him a little bit, figure that out. Paulson Adebo, I don't know about. Josh Hines Allen, we have to. Okay, we keep Josh Hines Allen. We only got $2.2 million left. We got more people to re-sign, but I'm really not worried about re-signing Marcus Jones or Jamie Sherwood. I think we can replace those guys in the draft. Or Paulson Adebo. Even Jamie and Sherwood, we're going to kind of have to see how these guys play, and our main focus is probably going to be Fuaga. And Colin Booth is just, I don't know what's going on. He's not playing well. 1,300 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 picks. That's not great. Rushing, Trayvon Henderson, 303, 8 touchdowns at the midseason. That's pretty good. Receiving, Egbuka leading the way with 4 and 2 touchdowns. Ferguson with almost 4 and 2 touchdowns. Olave with 289. No touchdowns for him. Bailey with a touchdown. And Trayvon Henderson with a touchdown. Defensively, Jamie and Sherwood leading the way in tackles. Josh Hines Allen in TFLs. And LaMarcus Starks in sacks. Josh Allen only has 1 sack. That's not great. Travon Walker with 4. That's upgrade over last year. Marcus Jones, 2 picks. Jeremy Chin, 2 picks. Adebo with 1 and Sherwood with 1. I wanted to get upset. We had the bye week before the midseason this year. Normally we're like 4-3, so 3-3 is kind of right on that pace. But an 88 overall team should not be 3-3. Ever. So, even with that though, we're going to go ahead and get to the end of year 4. Hopefully we start winning some games. If not, we're going to have to reset for year 5. Well, I stopped to do our focus scouting. We have 2 award winners. Kool-Aid McKinstry with 3 interceptions in a week. Booth, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 5 total touchdowns in a game. That's awesome. We also have a receiver breakout. And of course, it's CJ Bailey. We're going to go ahead. We'll try to get him 100 yards. And I don't normally include a lot of gameplay in this, but I think we're going to hop into this one and try to get him that 100 yards ourselves. All right, well, like I said, I'm going to show some of this one, but I'm only going to do the offense, and I'm only going to play until I get our receiver that 1,000-yard or that 100 yards, that 4+ catches and 100 yards, and then we'll sim out. I'm probably going to show this to y'all via highlight, and that's going to be it. But let's get our breakout player his breakout. Well, our goal here is to get Bailey 100 yards and 4 catches. And I think with this streak right here, we can start off strong as we hit him for a huge gain to start, 34 yards. That's a great start. I'm very excited to try and... We get him again right off the bat. Oh, and Bailey just made a spectacular catch. Well, Bailey has the 100 yards. He really now just needs one more reception. And then he's got right there, he has his dev trait. Well, we ended up winning the game 31-13. So you know we got this dev trait upgrade, this breakout for CJ Bailey. We're going to go ahead and get to the playoffs. We're 7-5. I got a really good feeling. Hopefully, we don't lose out the rest of the year. And we almost do. We don't make the playoffs again. We go 9-8. What more could I do with this team? I just want to look at it because I don't understand how an 88 overall team is going 9-8. We have fantastic players offensively, and we have a lot of injuries. That's what the problem is. Well, to take a look at our stats as we end the year, Colin Booth, 4,100 yards, 26 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. Rushing, Trayvon Henderson, almost 800, 17 touchdowns. Booth with 8. Receiving, Egbuka over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. Ferguson with 980 and 3. CJ Bailey, 892 and 10 touchdowns. Olave, 8 and 4. Defensively, Jamie and Sherwood leading the way in tackles as always. Marcus Starks in TFLs with 9, and it looks like Marcus Starks in sacks with 11. Josh Hines-Allen is an 88 overall superstar dev pass rusher who got 2 sacks. Kool-Aid McKinstry, 7 interceptions, 3 for Marcus Jones, 3 for Jeremy Chin, 2 for Paulson Adebo, and 1 for Jamie and Sherwood. And taking a look at the yearly awards, we're not going to find ourselves an MVP or Coach of the Year because, you guessed it, we weren't good enough. Offensive Player of the Year, Booth at 8. I like that. Defensive Player of the Year, McKinstry at 3. Starks at 8. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Paul Pierce at 5. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we don't have anybody on the list. Best Quarterback, Booth at 9. Best running back, Henderson at 4. Best wide receiver, nobody on the list. Best offensive lineman, Rosengarten at 5. That's interesting. Best defensive lineman, Starks at 4. Best linebacker, nobody on the list. Best defensive back goes to Kool-Aid McKinstry. Jeremy Chin and Marcus Jones both on the list at 8 and 9. Hopefully another dev trait. And best kicker, we got as well. Hopefully we get a bunch of dev traits then. And the New York Giants are your Super Bowl champions with Greg Hazelwood, the middle linebacker, as the MVP. Taking a look at our dev traits, I don't think we had any on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, okay, so now we can let go of people because Adebo and Marcus Jones both lose their dev trait. Josh Hines-Allen regresses. Travon Walker developed really well, actually. So I'm not against, we're going to have some trades this draft. And as far as renegotiations go, we're accepting Colin Booth's 5th-year option. Going to keep him around. Fuaga I'm going to keep. This was the last thing I submitted, and I'm just going to bump it up a little bit. He stays. That gives us $19 million. Now, I don't know if we can keep Jamie and Sherwood. He stays. I'm not re-signing anybody else. Everybody else can kick rocks. Oh, nope, I take that back. Andres is staying. There we go. We keep Andres. Everybody else can kick rocks because we only got $3.4 million. And there's no point of us doing the free agency because we only have $3.7 million. We're not signing anybody. Well, we have the 15th pick in the draft, slowly moving back. And I think I know exactly where we're going to go with this. And it's going to be Tracy James, a top 5 talent at corner. We lost several this year. We're going to bring him ranked in at 3, hidden dev. Going to be a great addition to our team. Actually, yeah, we're bringing in a strong safety. I'm probably going to try to trade the likes of everybody we have for this guy. Or after I draft this guy. Ranked at 30, got him at 47. Only normal dev, though. Never mind. All right, well, we traded back up with Detroit. Just traded some future draft picks. I hope that wasn't the receiver I wanted. Are you kidding me? It was. All right, well, never mind. We're trading it away. I'm trading it with Denver, too. I'm going to take all their draft picks, and I'm going to use it to get that guy. Well, I had nothing to do with anybody we drafted except for the first 2, Tracy James and Michael Stockton, who are both good players. I'm going to go work some trades, though, because there's some people I want, and we're just going to get them. All right, this is a first trade. I know it's a little suspect, but they need a strong safety, and we're trading away a first for another cornerback to add to this team because we need one. We don't need these 2 guys, so we're going to get them gone. And then we're trading some draft picks for a receiver, Bobby Stanton, who was the receiver that I traded up to draft, and then Denver drafted him, and it's just a whole long story I'm not getting into. All right, we're making another trade, sending a backup middle linebacker to the Colts and a future first-round pick for another corner. Well, we just accepted a trade for Chris Olave, brought in Kobe Turner, getting more pass rush on this D-line. This might be the best defensive line you've ever seen. We got good corners. We brought in Hallman. We brought in Callaway. We drafted James. A strong safety needs work, but it's just a safety spot, so I'm not super concerned about it. Offensively, we brought in the rookie Stanton, who I think is going to play a fantastic role right there. I think the rest of the team looks great. I have no concerns. This is a playoff team through and through. We still have Travon Walker, who is pretty good. Maybe we try to trade him real quick for a strong safety. And there we go. We're trading away Travon Walker and a second-round pick in the future for a strong safety, Malik Starks. I have a lot of confidence in this defense. This defense shouldn't have any issues playing. We should get a lot of sacks, a lot of turnovers, and win a lot of games. And of course, at the midseason, we're 4-3. I'm not really understanding what's going on here. And this is what aggravates me. Philly is an 83 overall. We have their offensive playbook. Look at where they rank compared to where we rank. And taking a look at the stats, Kellen Booth, a decent year so far, 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Rushing, Trayvon Henderson, 328, 4 touchdowns. Colin Booth, 234 and 2. Receiving, Egbuka leading the way with 379 and a touchdown. CJ Bailey not far behind and 7 touchdowns. Ferguson, 300 and a touchdown. And the rookie, 258 and a touchdown. Defensively, Sherwood leading the way in tackles. LaMarcus Starks in TFLs. And LaMarcus Starks in sacks with 10. Josh Hines-Allen only with 3. Kobe Turner doesn't even have a sack so far this year. 2 picks for Sherwood, 2 for Malachi Starks, 1 for Tracy James, the rookie, and 1 for Kool-Aid McKinstry. Well, we did a defensive change to the playbook. I'm going to leave everything else the same, and I'm going to slow sim out the rest of this season. Unless anything important happens, we're going to see y'all at the end of the year. Cross your fingers. Let's hope we make these playoffs. And just like that, folks, we finished the year as the #1 seed, 12-5. We get it over Philly because we beat Philadelphia earlier this year. And just to show y'all, we didn't play a single game this year. At the midseason, we went on an incredible run. Only lost to the Packers and Panthers and tight one-score games. So we played really well. I think that defensive change to the playbook, I mean, even the losses, the Dolphins blew us out the water. But the other 2 losses at the midseason weren't that bad. We were in a lot of tight games. And Colin Booth, 4,000 pass yards, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Trayvon Henderson, 849 and 8 touchdowns. Booth with 501 and 8 touchdowns. Paul Pierce with 4 touchdowns. CJ Bailey over 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. Egbuka, 969 and 3. Ferguson, 782 and 2. Bobby Stanton, 761 and 3. Defensively, Sherwood leading the way in tackles. Josh Hines-Allen in TFLs. Kobe Turner right behind him. Starks right behind him. And if you look at the sacks, you gotta love it. Josh Hines-Allen finally 16.5. LaMarcus Starks 13.5. Kobe Turner only with 4. Jalen Phillips with 3.5. Percy with 2. 2 picks for Sherwood, 2 for Starks, 2 for Tracy James, 2 for Kool-Aid McKinstry, 1 for Ricardo Hallman, and 1 for Michael Stockton. And taking a look at the roster to see how the team is playing, everybody looks great. I have no complaints whatsoever. Everybody playing top-tier football. We had to trade away a lot to get to this point, but I don't have any issues with it. We're going to go ahead and make Collins a middle linebacker. He's a scheme fit, and he's going to just make that position better. Everybody else is playing fantastic. I have no complaints. And we have a divisional round against the New York Giants. As always, we are going to hop in here. We are going to simulate to the end of it. We'll hop in if we have to because we do want to beat the Giants and move on and win us a Super Bowl here in New Orleans. All right, let's go to the end of the game, see if we can take down the New York Giants here at home. And it's not looking good to start as we cannot seem to score. We do there, 7-14. That's not what I wanted. Hop into the game, see if we can put some points up on the board and tie this. As Trayvon Henderson gets a gain of 4 there. I mean, we not being able to score against this team is just... Not being able to score is really just a pain in the butt, because we have such good offensive players that there's no reason we shouldn't be able to find somebody to move the ball down the field, unless it is solely a quarterback problem, which it could be. But not today, as we're going to find Ferguson wide open, hit him in the end zone, or he's going to run into the end zone. And that ties the game. All right, let's take a slow sim now, see if our defense can figure something out, as Tank Bigsby is running all over us apparently. And we force a 4th down. 2 minutes left. Let's see what our offense can do. We get the 1st down there to Terrence Ferguson. We just got to get in field goal range, where it's looking like we're pretty close. What was that? 2nd and 14, we take a sack. We get up to the 3rd and inches. Get the 1st down with Trayvon Henderson. It's time to keep burning clock. And we don't kick a field goal? We go into overtime. Great. All right, I'm coming in here. Our offense doesn't know how to do anything, so I'm going to come in here and try to finish this off. I don't know why do you... Madden Sim Logic, help me, please. All right, I haven't targeted Stanton yet, but we don't need to, because we hit Bailey, and it looks like he's going to walk off. We win. Well, Kellen Booth ends with 242, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. I think, threw both touchdowns. Trayvon Henderson, a lot of rushes, but only 54 yards. Kellen Booth with a rushing touchdown, though. Ferguson leading the way. Well, actually, CJ Bailey leading the way, mostly off one play in overtime to end it, but Ferguson should have been the leader. Jamie and Sherwood leading the way in tackles. 4 TFLs spread throughout. 2 sacks for LaMarcus Starks, 1 for Josh Hines Allen, and no interceptions. Now we find ourselves in the NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers. They're only 9-8. We have the overall advantage and the offense that hopefully we can take this team down. So let's go ahead, hop in, and see if we can beat the Packers. Let's go ahead and hop to the end of the game. We'll jump in if we have to. We have home field advantage. We're on the board first, too. But they tie it. It is a 7-7 game still after the end of the half. Can we get on the board? 14-7. And that ends the game, a low-scoring playoff run that we're on. 14-7, we take the win, beating the Green Bay Packers. And Kellen Booth, 214 yards and a touchdown. Trayvon Henderson, 25 yards and a touchdown. Receiving, CJ Bailey with the lone touchdown. Bobby Stanton, the rookie, leading the way. Defensively, Malachi Starks leading the way in tackles. 3 TFLs. Not a lot there. A half a sack for Dennis Lewis. A half a sack for Kool-Aid McKinstry. 2 defensive backs sharing a sack there. A sack for Michael Stockton, or an interception for Michael Stockton, and an interception for Jamie and Sherwood. And before we take a look at the Super Bowl, nobody in the MVP running. Do we make the Coach of the Year? Finally, we do. We're at number 4, but it goes to Doug Peterson of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's not even the coach there anymore. He was fired. Offensive Player of the Year. We don't have anybody on the list. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Josh Hines Allen. Starks at 5. Offensive Rookie, Stanton at 2. It's a bummer. Defensive Rookie, Tracy James at 2. Stockton at 7. Best quarterback, Booth at 10. Best running back, not on the list. Best receiver, Bailey at 7. Christian Watson, Best offensive lineman, not on the list. Best defensive lineman going to Josh Hines Allen. Best linebacker, not on the list. Best defensive back, not on the list. And best kicker, Andre's at 7. And in the long haul, I don't really care about what awards we win. I care about Super Bowls. We're finally in the Super Bowl going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump to the end of the game, see if we can take down Jacksonville. We are on the board first. It is 10-0, 13-0, 16-0, as 16-8. All right, well, you know what we're going to do here? We are going to play some game just solely for the fact that I do like to get gameplay during these Super Bowls. And we're going to throw the ball. Henderson's going to get caught. He had yards on that guy. 2nd and 9. I'm not trying to run clock. I'm trying to run score. And we're going to get sacked. We are not doing a good job. We are not doing a good job. Hopefully Ferguson can... All right, well, I have no problem giving the ball to Jacksonville here. So we're going to go for it on 4th down here. And Bailey is going to catch it on the 11-yard line. That's exactly what we need. We've struggled so much to move the ball here. We pretty much had one play. And Bailey is going to score here. All right, well, 23-8. They have the ball. They got to score a couple times. As McKinstry knocks it away. 2nd and 10. I was hoping for the interception there. Here, I'm not hoping for the interception. I'm hoping for the sack. And that's what we're going to get all the way down at the 8-yard line. I'm going to keep it the same, and I'm coming at you again.
Game over.
Nope, Hallman's going to get the pick. And I'm not going to give him a pick 6 because he'll steal the Super Bowl MVP from the rightful owner of it. It's just Madden still has that glitch going on where if you get a pick 6, you get the Super Bowl MVP, even though the game's already over. Trayvon Henderson running up to score 30-8. This game's a blowout. 2 minutes left, and I'm just trying to run this up for stats. That is my sole goal here. As Starks is going to get another sack. That's 5 on the day so far. And we're just going to keep at it. I'm going to keep rushing the passer. I want sacks. And I want pressure because if you make, as Jalen Phillips gets the sack there, if you make Trevor Phillips Trevor Lawrence rush. Trevor Phillips. What am I talking about? Oh, and that's going to be a safety right there as we get to Trevor Lawrence again with the strip sack. Uh-oh, Stanton with the safety punt return to the end zone. That's going to make it 38. We stomped the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Super Bowl. And Colin Booth, 22 for 29. 264 and a touchdown. Trayvon Henderson, 6 attempts, 20 yards and a touchdown. Colin Booth with 2 rushing touchdowns. Terrence Ferguson with 122 receiving yards. CJ Bailey, 72 and a touchdown. Defensively, Jalen Phillips led the way in tackles. 2 TFLs for Dennis Lewis, 2 for Jalen Phillips, 2 for Kobe Turner, 1 for LaMarcus Starks. 2 sacks for Starks, 2 for Josh Hines-Allen in his redemption game against Jacksonville. 1.5 for Jalen Phillips, 1 for Dennis Love, and 1/2 for Kobe Turner. And then 2 picks for Ricardo Hallman. And there you go, here in year 5, Colin Booth finally wins the Super Bowl MVP. And let's take one last look at the roster before we sign off. Guys, this offense is incredible. Colin Booth playing up to a 94 overall. Trayvon Henderson up to a 95. CJ Bailey playing up to an 88. Egbuka up to a 92. The rookie Stanton up to an 84. Ferguson up to a 91. Defensively, our linebacker core could use some dev traits as Jamie and Sherwood and Jalen Phillips both lose their dev traits. But the rest of the defense looks great. We have a great corner room. Josh Hines Allen, Starks, and Kobe Turner all on the D-line. That's probably the best defensive line in football right there. This might be the best team in football as we stomped Jacksonville. We should have stomped every team this year. Hallman was incredible in the Super Bowl, 2 picks. The rest of the corners were great in the Super Bowl. They didn't have any picks, but they were stopping people from being open, and that's what matters most. So if y'all enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button as I am on my journey to grow in YouTube. Leave a comment down below if there's a team that you want to see rebuilt. And until next time, guys, have a good one.